Emelie Waldken here. I've been talking a lot about schottis recently, and I would like to close this chapter for now with this video, which doesn't mean I won't give you any schottises anymore or never talk about it again. It's just for now I'm gonna give you a last tune and then we'll move to other chapters. So I thought that as a last tune for this chapter I would give you something a bit different in many different ways. First, I want to give you a tune from a country I don't speak a lot of, which is Finland. I don't know much about Finnish repertoire, but I know a couple of tunes, so that's one of them. And it's also a difficult tune that I want to give you. I thought, okay, I could give you a very easy thing, but I know there are some advanced players in my viewers, and I think it's also good to have like different levels of things. The schottis I'm gonna give you is called Sirkkojen Tanssi. I'm sorry for my Finnish pronunciation. It means the grasshoppers dance in Finnish, and it has been composed by Viljo Vesterinen. Sometimes you will find the name Viljo Vesterinen, it's just the same person. He was an accordion player from the beginning of the 20th century, and he composed many folk tunes. And what is interesting there is that in the Finnish folk world, you don't have as many fiddles as, for example, in Sweden, where the fiddles are just totally dominating the scene. In Finland you have actually way more accordions than in Sweden, and maybe it's actually the dominant instrument in Finland. So the repertoire is different because the technical possibilities of the instruments are. And also there is an overlap between folk music and another scene that is very close and that is very prominent in Finland, which is the Finnish tango scene. Maybe you don't know that, but tango in Finland is really a thing. I don't know about tango, but I thought it's a good idea to like open the door in case you're interested by that. I can feel like kind of crossings between the folk world and the tango world in a way. In the style of playing especially. You'll understand what I mean when I'll play the tune. It's, at least to me, very obvious, the style. Also, this tune is difficult. On nyckelharpa, actually I learned it on nyckelharpa from my Swedish teacher Ditte Andersson from Eric Sahlström Institute in Tobo. And she gave it as a like practice tune, and I see why. It's because it's really hard. On nyckelharpa you have to climb a lot for this tune, and you have like very quick shifts of positions. So I actually never worked on it on nyckelharpa, to be honest. That's why I'm gonna play it on fiddle this time. On nyckelharpa I would say it's a level 4 of difficulty, so one of my most difficult tunes that I've posted here. On fiddle it's not as hard, but it's still a hard tune because the phrases are long and the harmonies are changing a lot. And you have like, yeah, quick stuff with string crossing. So it would be like level 3-4 on fiddle. 3 maybe. Enough talking, let's play the tune. So that tune is in G minor and it has 2 parts. I'm saying G minor, but there are lots of changing of harmonies. So when I play second time through slowly, I will try to tell you all like the notes that are changing. I'm gonna say B and B flat. I'm not saying H because I'm not used to, and I might just get confused and say wrong things. Just so we know what we're talking about. Sorry for the German ones there. First part. It's long. So you have first a little ornament. F sharp, B flat, C sharp, B flat, E flat, C sharp, C, B, B flat, G sharp, B flat, C sharp, E flat, B flat, is the very well-known istukka tune. That starts exactly the same, and I didn't give you the istukka because I thought that just everyone knows it already. If it's not the case and you would like to learn it, just tell me. But this tune, I think it's important to say which one you're going to start, because it happened to me a couple of times that I was starting the grasshoppers dance, Sirkkojen Tanssi, and people thought it was actually the istukka, so we started playing two different tunes together. So I think it's kind of important to say before you just start, because otherwise people will assume it's the istukka because it's way more well known. B part. Confusing part, to be honest. F sharp, B flat, then kind of the same pattern, one string higher, C sharp, E, B, F sharp, and then G, D, B, G. So F, E flat, F, C, C, A, F, E flat, and then the closing part, F sharp, B flat, C sharp, C. Also, when you start this tune, apparently it's kind of traditional. I don't know, but I've seen that on like all the accordion players I've checked. They play a little like phrase before they start the tune. And I think it's probably originating in the dance, so you play a little intro so the dancers are ready and they know where to start. So it seems that there is no fixed little phrase, it's more like up to the player. If there is someone who knows more about this little tradition, please tell me. I've just heard different versions of that, so I have kinda made my own from the different ones I've heard. So this is a suggestion of a little intro you can play before you start the tune. So the full tune, full tempo, I've heard it played way faster, but I'm just playing at a tempo that I would like to dance to. And with the little intro phrase, so the dancers are ready to start. So about ornaments, you might have noticed that I'm using here something that I usually just don't want to use ever in folk music and don't want to hear ever in folk music, and that is vibrato. I personally think it suits the style there, like the tango feeling is calling for vibrato, in my opinion. On some notes, not too much of it, maybe not every time you play through, but on some like long notes where you can develop a nice vibrato, I think it's a nice thing to do. Drills are like the same ones that I do everywhere, like in Swedish folk music and in Norwegian folk music, and I also play them in Baroque now. So drills from down, drills like lifting and putting the finger back, and just normal drills and mordents and little rolls and stuff like that, depends how the melody is going. I don't play any double stops in this tune. You could, of course, if you manage to play like the right harmonies and at the right time and with all those melody stuff. Yeah, fine, double stops, but just maybe no drone because it's really not a modal tune, or maybe it's an effect. I don't know. I just personally don't play any double stops except the last one because it's a G. Also, you might have noticed that I'm playing with the rhythm quite a lot. So this is a triplet schottis, but it's very fun to actually straighten the rhythm sometimes on some points to give an effect. So you have a lot of this long, short, short, long, long, short, short, long, long, short, short, long. And it's very funny to play it like long, short, short, long, short, short, that long, short, short, long, long, short, short, long. You don't need to slow down for that, but you can really like flatten it. And then you go back to very dotted, so you can play along this idea of very dotted or very flat, straight if you prefer. I also think that this is the kind of tune where you can go really totally over the top, dramatic, romantic, cheesy. It suits, I think. Yeah, I would say it's always like better to go fully for an effect, so here romantic, dramatic, than to go just half-hearted and not being fully sure, and then it sounds very uncertain. So really go for crazy, go for the tango person with the flower in the teeth, like, and being super dramatic and romantic and seductive and everything you want to see in the picture. I think it really fits. Just my opinion. So, I hope you liked the tune. I personally really like this kind of over-the-top, dramatic, harmony-changing tunes, although they are super different from what I'm used to play. I wish to learn a bit more Finnish repertoire in the future, so you might get some new tunes in those videos. As usual, your comments, critics, suggestions, questions as well are very, very welcome. They help me a lot to just understand how good or not good my videos are, what I can work on to make them better, and also your suggestions and questions help me like define what the future videos are gonna be, because sometimes I'm not sure or I'm not having a good idea at the moment or something, and when you ask me a specific question about a topic, it's really helping. Also, if you would like to support those videos for seeing them go on and I hope becoming better, you can support me on Patreon. I will put the link on the screen at the end of the video. It's also in the description. Any little help that you can give me, any little support is highly appreciated. Not only on Patreon, but also when you just talk about it, when you just talk to me about what you have thought. It's really, really, really helpful. Thank you a lot for watching, folks, and till next time!